WTO is associated with long talks, various tariffs, customs quotas, imports and exports, as well as with other terms which our consumers sometimes do not understand. The task of WTO market program is to break all the barriers between buyers and sellers because we know everything about the prices. What types of coffee do people of Kazakhstan prefer? Who does benefit from increased market competition? Is a domestically produced coffee a myth or reality? The quality of coffee is deteriorating as a result of global climate change. For example, Ethiopia, the world's fifth producer of coffee beans, by 2050 can lose more than 50% of lands suitable for growing coffee due to climatic variations. Value Penguin data analytics company developed the latte index taking as a basis the price of a standard latte portion in the World Coffee House chain and the World Bank's data for currency rates. Nitro coffee is a trend of the up-to-date coffee world. This is a coffee drink with liquid nitrogen. It is served from beer taps in order to create an image of foamy kvass. Coffee is the second product of the world trade after oil. More than 25 million people throughout the globe work in the coffee industry. People of Kazakhstan were affected by the global coffee fashion only several years ago. However, historically, Kazakhstan is known as a tea country. The coffee culture in our country emerged and started to develop 3 to 4 years ago. Nowadays, there are many coffee houses. Those who open them import coffee beans mainly from Italy. Some owners of coffee houses roast coffee beans themselves. The growing popularity of coffee can be judged by the number of world brands which opened in Kazakhstan over the last years. Experts also say about the increasing demand for coffee machines by fast food outlets as well as by households. There are very good prospects. Kazakhstan is a dynamically developing country. We began to cooperate last December and understood that the demand for such machines was very high. Finland is the world's top coffee drinking nation. Each citizen of this northern country consumes 12 kilograms of coffee annually. In Kazakhstan, this figure does not exceed 0.3 kilograms. According to data from 2015, 86% of city inhabitants in Kazakhstan gave preference to instant coffee, 6% to ground coffee, less than 5% to chicory and less than 3% to whole bean coffee. This is also the case of consumption of coffee at home. More and more people of Kazakhstan order coffee in fast food restaurants. The outdoors consumption growth of this beverage is more than 50% annually. For example, our tastes differ from those in America. Therefore, we decided to create our Kazakhstani taste, which would please our consumers. We have made a lot of tasting, asking people what they like and what they don't like. And I noted that most of our people preferred sweet chocolate taste. Over the last years, coffee producers also started to roast and packaging of coffee beans. Raw products are not delivered to Kazakhstan directly from coffee-producing countries, but through Russia and the EU countries. Currently, coffee equipment or raw products are imported without payment of customs duty. This helps us in our price policies and therefore high-quality coffee becomes affordable for a greater number of our consumers. Producers of coffee and coffee machines, as well as owners of coffee houses, regard Kazakhstan as a very promising market. It is expected that soon the battle for consumers will become tougher. Everybody will make efforts to occupy this niche because it will develop further. I think that within 5 to 10 years, many people in Kazakhstan will drink coffee like in European and other developed countries. The most widespread types of coffee, Arabica and Robusta, do not form the largest part of import in Kazakhstan. Most of people in the country still give preference to coffee substitutes, instant coffee and coffee drinks. In 2010-2015, the total cost and amount of imported coffee in Kazakhstan increased by $2.6 million and 231 tons respectively. First of all, the increase in import of Robusta coffee can be observed. The amount of imported Arabica remains at the same level. This suggests that the manufacturing costs of coffee in Kazakhstan are decreasing. Kazakhstan almost does not purchase coffee from producing countries directly. We import raw products from different parts of the world, including Brazil, some African countries, India and others. Our main storehouse is located in Germany, where we certify all our products. After that, we transport them to Kazakhstan, roast and deliver to final consumers. According to the statistics, the most expensive coffee is imported to Kazakhstan from Italy and Brazil, and the cheapest from Germany and Russia. The main importers of coffee to Kazakhstan in volume terms are Belgium 1%, the UK 1%, India 1%, Brazil 4%, Germany 8%, Italy 36% and Russia 49%. Experts predict that soon import tendencies will change. In particular, import of cheap coffee will remain at the same level and import of high-quality coffee, Arabica and Robusta, will increase. Kazakhstan's accession to the WTO and growing popularity of coffee houses among people under 40 contribute to this. Nowadays, raw products are increasingly being imported in Kazakhstan instead of finished products. Kazakhstan is still not prepared to export coffee. It has also been said that Kazakhstan cannot produce good coffee. Currently, we battle with this perception on the internal market and try to demonstrate people that we can be a good coffee producer. Tricks which can help us to choose good whole bean coffee. A new market opens for coffee producing countries. Why Brazil has to take urgent actions. Normally, there are two kinds of natural coffee, whole bean and ground. If we buy ground coffee, it is recommended to ask when it was processed, as its taste and flavor deteriorate as time passes. Theoretically, coffee should be ground in your presence. If you prefer whole bean coffee, it is advised. Arabica is the most popular coffee drink. Robusta does not have a specific flavor but is much stronger. Liberica is in fact a low-quality, cheap raw product which unfair producers mix with more expensive varieties. Beans that we buy should be of the same size and color. It means that coffee is free from admixtures. It is also recommended to ask the seller about the degree of roasting. Light roast allows raw products to preserve beige color with a golden undertone. In this case, the drink has a watery and slightly sour taste. Every person on Earth consumes on the average more than 4 kilograms of coffee beans, and the consumption rate is constantly increasing by approximately 2% per year. Interestingly, Asian countries unveiled this drink not long ago, as they traditionally gave preference to tea. Over the last years, the consumption of coffee in India increased almost 1.5 times. In China, it almost doubled, and in Thailand, it increased almost 6 times. The key suppliers of coffee to the global market are Brazil, Vietnam, Colombia and Indonesia. These countries account for 64% of the world production and 62% of the world export. Over the last 20 years, the production of coffee in Brazil increased almost 3 times. It has a pronounced cyclical nature. In turn, this significantly affects the overall production and world prices. Low production of Robusta coffee over the last 3 years has led to its deficiency on world markets. For this reason, and as a result of an increasing demand, the price for this product continues to grow. This year, Brazil, for the first time in history, allowed to import coffee. The country's government approved import purchases of strong Robusta coffee. Brazil, a major coffee exporter and consumer, was forced to take these measures due to poor harvests and severe droughts.